Hello, thanks for taking some time to learn more about Flocknote. You know, I first created Flocknote to help overcome the communications challenges that I saw in my own church. Today, Flocknote has now helped over 1,000 other churches do the same. So we know the challenges you face, both in trying to get information to your members, but also in trying to implement a new piece of technology successfully at a church. The reason Flocknote has been spreading so quickly to so many churches around the country is because it is so simple to use and it's proven to work. Churches are finding out the simple power of being able to text message or email all or some of their members whenever they need to. They're doing things like doubling attendance for holy days and special events with just a single text message, gathering important feedback from every member with just a few clicks, and finding out what it feels like to actually have up-to-date contact info on file for all their members. And then giving every ministry leader the ability to easily reach their people anytime they need to. In this presentation, first I'll give you an overview of how Flocknote works. Then Caitlin, one of our happiness engineers, is going to give you a quick demo to show you what it all looks like. So let's get to it. Flocknote does 3 essential and powerful things that, when it comes to communication technology, we've found are more important than anything else you'll do as a church. In other words, churches that communicate well with their members successfully do these 3 things before they worry about any other technological goals. That's because doing these 3 things, first, not only accomplishes most all of what you need in terms of communications as a community, but it lays an essential foundation that helps you accomplish everything else. The first thing successful churches do is they get their members up to date and most important contact info. Most people are not fully registered at their church, or their most important contact info is not valid. So we have no way to communicate with them in an emergency or in between Sundays, and we have no way to reach out to them if they stop showing up on Sundays. So we need to get their most important up-to-date contact info. And these days, their most important contact info above everything else out there is still their mobile phone number and their email address. So first, Flocknote helps you quickly and easily gather all of your members' up-to-date mobile phone numbers and email addresses. You can do this by having them send a simple text message right from their phone when they're sitting in front of you on Sunday. Or they can do it from the web with a few simple clicks. And of course, any lists or databases of contact info you already have on file, you can import right into Flocknote. Even better, Flocknote will then automatically ask your members what other groups and ministries from your church they'd like to get updates from, and it lets them manage or unsubscribe from those updates anytime they'd like. The second essential thing Flocknote helps you do is it then lets you easily contact your members via email or text message anytime you need to, sending a note at a moment's notice from any device you have, or even letting you schedule notes to go out in the future. You can send beautiful email newsletters with images, videos, polls, and file attachments, or you can send quick, powerful text messages. Again, email and text messages, when used properly, are easily the 2 most powerful and effective ways to connect with your people. More than Facebook, your website, your bulletin, a mobile app, or anything else. The third essential thing Flocknote helps your church do is listen. It lets you listen to your people. Flocknote is the easiest way to get feedback from your members in a controlled fashion. Anytime you send out an email or a text message, Flocknote captures every response or reply all in one place for you. It also lets you take polls, capture RSVPs to events, track email bounces, and view exactly who is opening and reading your emails. Listening to your members is an essential part of building meaningful relationships with them. Flocknote helps you do that, and it does that all without your members ever having to log in or install an app. And it does it straight from whatever device, email account, or phone they're already using. So that's it, a simple tool with big results. Flocknote is totally free for up to 40 members, and for larger groups, it's one of the most affordably priced texting and email options available today. In fact, If it saves you just one paper mail out to your members, it pays for itself for the entire year with unlimited emails and unlimited text messages. For less than the cost of a single cell phone bill, you can empower every ministry leader in your entire church to communicate effectively, texting and emailing all your members whenever they need to. Flocknote not only saves you money, but it saves you communication headaches. It saves you in frustration and inefficiency when you need to reach all your members for a schedule change, bad weather, or a last-minute announcement. But most of all, it provides a communication framework through which you can continually remind your members of the value of your community and build deeper relationships with them. And that's really the ultimate factor in increased stewardship. There are no contracts, no software to load, no risk, and you can get started in just a few minutes. So I hope you'll give us a try. We'd love to help you in your important work. One more thing before we get to the short demo. I just want to remind you that when you choose Flocknote, you're getting more than just another powerful tool. You're getting a proven solution with a long track record of really helping churches. A solution that your team will not just use, but really enjoy. You're getting a team of people here at Flocknote who are on your team. We're not only here to help you when you have a technical question, but we'll be continually teaching and providing your team with the know-how to improve communication at your church. We want to make sure you're successful. When you choose Flocknote, you're also joining a community of thousands of other churches who have gone before you and who are working alongside you. Churches that we are constantly learning church communication best practices from and then passing those on to you. Flocknote continues to improve based upon the exceptional feedback we get from our users. Finally, you're getting a company who believes in your mission because we share your mission. Our mission is a more connected church, a church set free to share the most important message there is in the most powerful ways. We'd love to join you in this most important work. Next, Caitlin is going to do a quick demo just so you can see what Flocknote looks like on the inside. After that, to help you get started, we have our free Flocknote training videos, which will take you about 20 minutes total. That's it. And they'll teach all of your admins everything they need to know to use Flocknote. Caitlin?
Hi everyone, my name is Caitlin and I'm one of the happiness engineers with Flocknote. I'm going to be giving you a short intro to what Flocknote can do for your church or organization. If you're looking to go a little bit more in depth, we have some great training videos at flocknote.com/training. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. We're looking at the Flocknote website right now. If you'd like to get a network started for your church or organization, you can go ahead and click this big try it free button. The setup only takes a minute or two, but today we're going to be working with an existing church on Flocknote so you can get a better idea of the big picture. In another tab, I've logged into Flocknote using my email address, and this is the main page for my church in Flocknote. This is what you're going to see when you log into Flocknote, and it has some tips here for getting started. The first thing I want to point out is the basic navigation of the page. So over here to the left, we have some of our go-to action items up at the top, and we'll go over those in a second. And we have all of the different groups that comprise our church. These groups essentially represent groups of people that you'll be communicating with. So that is sending emails and text messages to. So if you click on a particular group, over in the right-hand pane, it's going to display all of the notes that have been sent to that group, and also all of the people that belong to that group as well. All right, so you can quickly add a member to this group simply by selecting this big Add a Member button and entering their contact information. You can also import a spreadsheet or CSV file of names, email addresses, and phone numbers as well just by clicking this Import a Contact List button. If you guys need any help with imports, your happiness engineers are here to assist you. Feel free to reach out to us at help@flocknote.com. Also, one good thing to note with the imports, they are smart enough to weed out the duplicates. So that way, if someone's on your spreadsheet 2 or 3 times, it's only going to add them once to your group. So that's good to know. All right, so now that we've talked a little bit about adding members and we've seen where we can view sent notes, let's talk about these buttons in the top left. All right, so this first button is to write a note. So we can click it and choose whether to send an email or a text message and which group we'd like to send it to. We'll get to see that in action in a second. The second button is to add a member, which we just saw a larger version, the same button a moment ago on this people page. Our third button is the notifications button. So you can click this button to adjust how you receive notes from each particular group. That is whether you'd like to receive a text message or an email from that group. All right, and our More button actually contains a few different options. My Info actually allows you to adjust the information that is on file for yourself. Manage Groups is going to allow you to make new groups and subgroups, and also allow you to reorder how the groups appear in this left-hand pane. And you can see here this high school and middle school group, they have subgroups. That's what this little arrow indicates. The setting options is going to allow you to adjust things like the name of your church and the URL that people can use to find your church on Flocknote. Go ahead and open that up so you can see it. This is where you can also come to set the text to join keyword right here, which people can text from their phone to get connected to a specific group in your church. It's a really handy tool. You can also set up a welcome email message that's going to go out anytime a member is added to your church or to a specific group. We have some more detailed info on all of these different settings because I know that was a lot at once. So if you're interested in learning more about these settings, you can always watch our training videos, again at flocknote.com/training, or once you have an account set up, this little question mark in the corner, I will actually take you to a detailed FAQ that reviews each of these settings fields as well. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close our settings box here. All right, so now that we've gone over some of the navigation of Flocknote, I really want to get to the meat and potatoes, which is sending notes. I'm going to go ahead and click this Write a Note button. It's going to pop up a little dialog, and we're going to choose which group we're going to send our note to. I'm going to choose the volunteer team, and I'm going to write them a text message. All right, so I'm going to click the Go button. And no matter whether you choose to write an email or text message, the note is still going to go to everyone who's a part of that group. So if someone only has an email on file or opted out of text for this group, they're going to receive our text message as an email instead. The same is true for when you send an email. If someone only has a cell phone on file or they've opted out of emails from that group, they're going to receive a text message with a link to read the note online. So that's something good to note. All right, so as you can see, the text message composer is really pretty simple. I'm going to go ahead and type out a quick text. All right, so now that I've typed my text out, you can actually go ahead and schedule this text to go out for a future date and time, or save it as a draft if you'd like. I'm going to go ahead and send my text message just by selecting the Send It button. All right, so there goes my text. And now, if I go back to the volunteer team group who I sent it to, there is our text message that we just sent right here. Okay, so now that we've seen what writing a text message looks like, let's go ahead and write an email. All right, so again, I'm going to just click on this Write a Note button. All right, and again, you can select the group that you'd like to write your email to or text message to. And then I'm going to go ahead and select Email and then click Go. So up pops our email composer. It's going to be really similar to a lot of email composers you've used in the past, so hopefully kind of familiar to you. But we do have a few fun items that you can add to your email, so we'll get to see those in a second. All right, so just like a traditional email, we can give it a subject. All right, and so I know it's really not exciting to watch me type, so I'm just going to go over some of the items that you can add. So here is obviously the text box where we can type out our message to everyone. You can add additional text boxes if you like just by selecting this text button. Additionally, you can also insert an image into your note, and you can upload the file from your computer. You can also add an event, which is going to collect RSVPs for you. You can add a poll as well, which is just a quick, fun way to gather feedback pretty quickly. You can also insert a quote, just a little stylized quote for fun. All right, and you can add file attachments. Again, just click to upload the file from your computer. And finally, you can embed YouTube and Vimeo videos also right into your note as well. Okay, so in addition to all the different items you can add into your note, you can send it as a newsletter, which is just going to toggle on this newsletter header. You can also send your note as a 1-column email or a 2-column email just by clicking those buttons. All right, so just like we saw with the text message, you can choose to send this email out and schedule it for a future date and time. You can save it as a draft. And additionally, with the emails, you can send yourself a test email to preview how it's going to look in your inbox. So that's helpful. All right, so again, I know you guys are just dying to watch me type, but I'm actually going to close out of this. And I'm going to open up an email I sent a few minutes ago so we can see what a completed note looks like. All right, so I'm going to open this up. Ta-da! Here is what a completed email looks like. You can see we've got our nice newsletter header that we added, some text that I put in here. We've got an event that people can RSVP to, a nice little image there, a file attachment, and our little poll at the bottom. All right, so and you might notice over here on the right, we've got a nice feature called the analytics. This is actually going to track who's opening your email, if you have any bounced emails, meaning they weren't delivered, if any text messages were sent. So that's just a handy feature for keeping an eye on how your communications are doing. If I close that back up, over beneath the analytics, we actually have the replies. So you can leave comments on a note. So if anyone replies directly to your email or directly to your text message, their reply is going to appear here in the comment section. And so we do have both private comments and public comments. The direct replies to emails and text messages, those are going to show up as private comments automatically with the little padlock icon. And if anyone views the note online and you have public comments enabled, they can also leave a little comment here as well. So again, it's just going to filter all the different replies you can get from all the different modes of communication right into this one place so you can see them. All right, so I hope that gives you guys a better idea of the basics of Flocknote. If you have any questions, please reach out to my fellow happiness engineers at help@flocknote.com. And again, if you're looking to go more in depth, you can find our training videos at flocknote.com/training. And we also have some great help pages at help.flocknote.com.